All right, let's dive into something that trips up so many service businesses when they're using Google Ads. We're going to break down why the real secret to making your phone ring isn't just in that initial setup, but in everything you do after your ads are up and running.
So let me ask you, does this sound familiar? You've got your Google Ads campaign live. You see the clicks coming in, so you know the budget's getting spent, but when you look at the schedule, there just aren't enough new jobs getting booked. It's probably one of the most frustrating problems you can have with your ads. So, of course, when the calls aren't coming in, your first thought is probably something like, I must have set it up wrong. You start wondering about your keywords or your ad copy or the budget, and yeah, all that stuff is important. But the real secret, the thing that turns those clicks into actual paying customers, lies in the day-to-day management and optimization of your account.
To make this crystal clear, I want you to think about your Google Ads account like it's a garden. You see, success doesn't just pop up overnight. It really comes in two totally different phases. That initial setup, that's just planting the seeds. You're choosing the right spot, getting everything in the ground. It's absolutely essential, don't get me wrong, but it's a one-time thing. The optimization, though, that's the real work. That's the ongoing process of actually tending to that garden. You know, the weeding, the watering, the pruning, all the stuff you do to make sure you get a real harvest. That is where the growth actually happens. Okay, so the first and honestly most important part of gardening your ad account is weeding. And in Google Ads, the weeds are the clicks that you pay for that have absolutely zero chance of turning into a customer. We call these irrelevant search terms. Basically, it's when someone types something into Google, your ad shows up, they click on it, and you pay for that click. But what they were actually searching for has nothing to do with the services you provide. Let me give you a perfect example. Imagine you're a roofer. Someone goes to Google and types in free DIY roof repair videos. Your ad for expert roof repair services might pop up. They click it, and boom, you just paid for a click from someone who wants to do the job themselves for free. That's a weed, and it just costs you money.
And here's the thing you've got to understand. Google's AI is incredibly powerful, but it's not a mind reader. If you don't actively guide it by building out what we call negative keyword lists, basically telling it to block words like free or DIY or videos, its algorithm can get a little too creative and start showing your ads to all the wrong people, just burning through your budget. And look, you might be thinking it's just a few dollars here and there, right? But those little irrelevant clicks add up so fast. For a lot of local businesses, it's not crazy to see over $500 a month totally wasted on traffic that was never ever going to call you.
So once you've pulled all the weeds, the next step is to focus on what's left. It's time to water the plants that are actually producing for you. In the world of ads, this just means figuring out what's working and then doubling down on it. This chart shows it perfectly. Let's say you've got two ads running. One of them is consistently bringing in calls and jobs, but the other one is just kind of getting clicks. Well, before you optimize, your budget's probably split pretty evenly between them. But after you optimize, you make a smart move. You shift the majority of that budget, let's say 80%, over to the ad that's actually making your phone ring. You starve the loser and you feed the winner. It's that simple. And the best part? This one move doesn't require you to spend a single extra penny. You're just using your existing budget way, way smarter. For so many businesses, just this simple act of shifting money from what isn't working to what is working is the turning point. It's what takes a campaign from just breaking even to being super profitable.
Now, I know when you hear a word like optimization, it can sound like this massive, complicated job, but it's not about huge, dramatic overhauls. The real power is in making small, consistent tweaks over time. I mean, just look at some of these examples. It could be as simple as trying out a new headline in your ad to see if it gets a better response. Or maybe you notice you get more calls in the afternoons, so you adjust your ads to run more aggressively during those hours. You could even slightly increase your bids for certain zip codes that you know are more profitable. These little adjustments, they all add up. And that really is the secret. It's not about finding some single magic bullet. A successful Google Ads account that consistently brings in new jobs is pretty much always the result of these continuous, small, but really powerful improvements. So when you boil it all down, it really comes down to two completely different ways of thinking, two different mindsets, and not surprisingly, they lead to two very different results.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. The setup mindset sees Google Ads as a one-time thing. You build it, you turn it on, and you just kind of hope for the best. It's that classic set it and forget it approach. But then you've got the optimization mindset. This sees it as an ongoing process. You don't just hope for results, you actively manage for them. It's a long-term investment where you're always testing, learning, and improving.
And that brings us to the final question you should probably ask yourself. When you look at your own Google Ads account, what do you see? Is it a forgotten plot of land that's kind of overgrown with weeds and just being left to chance? Or is it a carefully tended, profitable garden that consistently produces for your business?
The difference between those two outcomes is optimization. Simple as that. If you'd like more practical insights just like this one to help you turn your ad clicks into real, booked jobs, make sure you subscribe to the channel. At Proper Marketers, our whole thing is helping service businesses get real results from their advertising. Thanks for watching.